Hello everyone! In this video, I will be talking about Warframe. Maybe you have heard about it before, maybe not. That is why in this piece, I'll do my best to explain just what is Warframe, its qualities, and what the game does of wrong, all from the perspective of a long-term player. Warframe is an online third-person free and sci-fi RPG PvE game first released in March of 2013 by Digital Extremes, with its main theme being space. In this game, you take control of a warframe, a war machine created long ago, controlled by eternal children imbued with space energy, with the intent of being the most powerful beings on the galaxy, being used to win wars effortlessly, with extremely high endurance, speed, and using a pretty large array of weapons. You, the player, is referred to as the Tenno throughout the game by multiple characters, one of them being the Lotus, kind of a handler and a caretaker for the Tenno. The story of this game starts with a brief explanation on the past of the Warframes, its users, and how they are now just relics of a distant era. Your first objective, story-wise, is to take back control of your warframe, relearn and retake the solar system you reside on, bringing back your glory days, and understanding more of who or what you truly are. Okay, that was just a brief piece of the introduction, just to get us understanding our objectives and purposes in the game. I'll not be talking too much about the story because personally, I don't think it's a focal point of this game, which takes us to the next topic of this video. Warframe plays great, it runs smoothly in most machines, and it has great movement, combat, and mission variety for the many tastes in gaming out there. And it's also free. From the get-go, we have a lot to cover. The missions, maps, factions, weapons, warframes, modding systems, customization, movement, combat, etc. and etc. Warframe is on its core gameplay a looter shooter, being closest in nature to games like Borderlands, Destiny, and maybe even Dark Souls in some aspects, like item drop chances and the like. So for the enjoyers of these types of games, this is the game for you, and being the like, you know it takes time to evolve inside these games, which in turn can also make people stop playing it. All that being said, the gameplay loop revolves on getting gear, weapons, and warframes to farm even better, or sometimes worse, equipment, and continue the cycling of pillaging that we all love. All of that backed up by amazing movement and combat. And on that note, the combat in Warframe is good, no two ways about it. It's fast-paced and meaty, making it extremely satisfying to keep on fighting. And the giant array of weapons also helps a lot to keep that variety going. The combat in this game is mainly separated in 4 pieces: the primary weapons, secondary weapons, melee weapons, and the warframe itself, making for a giant variety on ways you can approach each enemy and mission types. And that is the core of the combat. Of course, there are many more ways to do combat, like for example Necromex or even the Railjack. But that is a bit more specific and isn't used that much in the core combat. And never forget kids, this is a power trip game, so don't expect the enemies to put much of a fight. Think about it like Dynasty Warriors on steroids and in space. You just nuke everything for the most part, waiting for that meta equipment you have been farming for so long. Maybe you have seen the movement in this game before and thought, that is some cool movement, the character just moves so fast. And it is. Movement in this game is one of the best I have seen in most games. Paired with the combat, it makes for extremely quick, and sometimes calculated ways to move inside of the game. There is walking, sprinting, jumping, wall latching, aim gliding, bullet jumping, and even more advanced movement mechanics that also can be buffed using the modding system inside the game. It is great for people that just enjoy a very flowy gameplay that is mostly very fast paced. Some games that are similar in movement, for me personally, would be Ultra Kill or even Metal Gear Rising, but even faster. The crafting system in Warframe is arguably one of the worst parts of the game. The resources that I use to craft weapons and Warframes are overall pretty easy to get, but there are some that require a bit more time to farm, or even a dedicated farm build. But by far the worst design from the system is the waiting time. And the people that have spent any amount of time in Warframe knows this pain. It takes a minimum of 12 hours to make a weapon, up to a whole day, and don't even get me started on the Warframes. The Warframe crafting system is separated in two parts, making the Warframe pieces and then the Warframe itself. Each piece taking a whole 12 hours and the Warframe itself taking 3 days to make. And we are not even taking into consideration the time to even farm the resources. It is astoundingly dumb how bad this system is. But anyways, moving on.
I need more bullets! I need more bullets! Bigger weapons! Bigger weapons!
Warframe, during the time of me making this video, currently has 400 plus weapons, all divided between primary, secondary, and melee weapons, all in which you can get for free. You just gotta farm it, and I don't think people give this game enough credit for that, considering its live service and all. But anyways, all these weapons, beyond having different designs and factions, also have different stats that can be modified in the modding system to increase damage, range, blast radius, attack speed, change elements, critical chances, and etc., making it extremely enjoyable to be playing around with. But of course, it has its flaws, and we will get to it later. Laser cannons, energy shotguns, regular bullets even, they have it all. If you really think about it, it's 10 plus years of making multiple weapons and Warframes every year. That's a lot to get into. And speaking of Warframes, we can pivot into our next topic. This game has a giant variety of Warframes, 53 to be exact, excluding Prime variants, Prime Warframes and weapons being versions of the original ones in their Prime form, containing better stats and more stylish overall. So that is a lot, and they follow the same logic of the weapons, except that all of them have 4 or more unique abilities related to that specific theme on that Warframe. Some examples are Mag, one of the starting Warframes that uses magnetism as a form of combat, or even Trinity, that is a tanky energy and health power plant for her allies, maybe even Volt, in which is a speedster of sorts and uses electricity to kill his enemies. And the list goes on and on, again adding to that fresh experience that players enjoy so much, and have enjoyed for so much time. Some of my favorites are Gauss, a very versatile and cool speedster, Harrow, a crit master with very interesting design, Volt, one of the most versatile, fast, and fun Warframes that I own, and I could keep going, but for the sake of this video's length, let's move on to a related topic. The modding system that I have previously mentioned has that final gallon of variety in the combat of this game, adding the stats of a weapon and Warframe to your wheel, while adding something extra for you to farm. Using the mods, you can make any build you want. Want to make a skill in a Warframe that is useless that much more powerful, you can do it. Change the elements of your weapons, make it a status beast or a crit demon. Go ahead, my fellas. Maybe even make main builds just for fun. I'll be right happy to. The modding in Warframe is just so diverse and complex overall, and that is why there are dedicated sites like Overframe that you can get or post builds for all Warframes and weapons in the game. It is very enjoyable to turn that average weapon that maybe you like the design or sound effects and turn it into a one-shot machine. The customization is also very enjoyable and diverse in the game. You can paint anything you want in your weapon using color palettes, maybe change the head, the body, or the colors of your Warframe to a different type. Paint your ship, cats, weapons, dogs, sentinels, you can do it all. All that said, the most paid part of Warframe resides in its customizations. The color palettes, for example, are only obtainable through events or platinum, the cash in the game. And most of the skins, excluding the deluxe Warframe skins, are only obtainable by actual cash. But considering it's a free-to-play game, that is more than fair in my eyes. So as long as you got that platinum, you can and will get pretty stylish after some time. And on the topic of platinum, the premium currency that I have mentioned, platinum, is not all that bad, as there is a dedicated economy based around this currency, made by the players. You can earn platinum pretty easily by selling items that you have farmed, and maybe don't even have a use for it, to other players, and get platinum in the game. So you can buy things that you need like Warframe slots, weapon slots, mods, or vanity. Sometimes this economy can be a little bit bloated, but overall it is pretty fair. Nothing that an hour of trading in a dojo can fix. Personally, and as an example, everything that you see me using in this video, I have farmed, and or bought it with platinum, seeing as I have never actually spent real money in the game, if you count on time. But if you want to do it, you can. Also, the economy in the game is okay overall. If we exclude things like ribbon trading, basically a mafia in the game, there are rare items that you can sell for a higher price, or just sell more common items in bulk for a smaller profit, but with more frequency of successful sales. The economy is similar to other fantasy and medieval MMOs like Prince and Tale or Path of Exile. So if you are into that Trader's Guild simulator, American Psycho style, you will get into it. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention in this pre-recorded video, there is also the Warframe.market site, a hub for traders with average prices balanced by the community. A very nice segue, by the way. The community. Ah, yes, the community. The community of Warframe, excluding the giant bulk of furries and feet fans that fester the region chat, and the people that are actually insane about Warframe and only play this game and do nothing else. The community is pretty good overall, fun and enjoyable, but most importantly, very helpful and accommodating for new players. If you're just starting out, don't be afraid to ask anything you need in the chats or forums in the game. You will be helped, and it is especially essential considering the amount of overwhelming information in this game. It's 10 years of game development and counting after all. From personal experience, I can assure you all, I have been helped at the start of this game, all those hours ago.
I don't know. I never counted. I am not really a math guy, you know?
You know? And I enjoy helping other players also. It's a never-ending cycle of being cool and useful to each other, in which I very much enjoy. Apart from the obvious killer gameplay of Warframe, I have to mention how amazing the art direction of this game is. They really have a grasp of what this world is supposed to look like, and how to make every single thing cool and stylish. It really stands out from other games in the same genre. Tile maps like Gas City and Jupiter, the Cambion Drift and Deimos, Vallis and Fortuna in Venus, the sentient maps on Railjack and Duvery are truly beautiful, and I wish they made more new maps to replace older tile sets. It brings such life and makes the game experience that much more enjoyable, to me at least. Also, the design on warframes and weapon, be it skins, primed or originals, are also very nice and well designed. The sound design of Warframe is also very enjoyable, and professional at that. It just complements the gameplay a lot. As per usual, nothing crazy, but I still appreciate it. And with every new main update, there is always that one killer song for us to enjoy. Or those cool sound effects like the red line from God. Or Harrow's chains. Jesus Christ. This game has so many different types of missions. Just on the base star chart, we have over 263 missions across many different types, like Exterminate, Disruption, Defense, Dark Sector, Open Worlds, Railjack, Rescue, Boss Hunts, and the list goes on and on. So there is literally something for everyone to enjoy, or at least to tolerate for the most part. In conclusion, this game is a part of me that is never going to die. Sure, sometimes I just want to uninstall the game and never open it again, saying things like, "There's nothing to do in this game. I hate it, dude. Why do I fucking play this?" But if you really stop and think about it, I have played it for over 7 years, and for more than 3,000 hours. And I'm 30. And I will tell you that I have played a lot of good games before. I like a giant array of different games like Metroidvania, Souls-likes, racing games, fighting games, platformers, shooters, RPGs. But no other game has stayed with me for such a long time like Warframe did. If it was not a good and fun game, I would not have played it for as much and for as long as I did. There's a lot of bad and a lot of good in Warframe, just like any other game. It's fun, very cool to play, and for the most part, has a nice community of people and devs who you can learn from and teach. So if you're a vet like me, please go outside, and if you're a newcomer who finds the game cool and just wants to play it once and for all and needed that final little push, go ahead. It's an experience.
Into the